Good morning, dear students. I am Nozima Djumayeva Pre, Senior Teacher of English Linguistics Department. I hope you are safe and sound and staying home. Today we are going to have a reading class with you. So let's begin. Before reading, I would like you to answer these pre-reading questions. The first one, which statement describes the game of tennis? Which describe bowling? Write T for tennis and B for bowling. The first one, to play, you need a ball and 10 pins. The second one, for this game, you need a ball, a racket, and a net. Players hit the bat back and forth to each other. The fourth one, if you miss the ball, your opponent gets a point. So, after this activity, answer the next question. What else do you know about tennis and bowling? Share your opinion. Now, look at the title of the article, Conversational Ball Games. The author of the article is Nancy Masterson Sakamoto. So, based on this title, what do you think the article is about? Who is the author and what is the author's nationality? What is the topic of the article? Now, look at this picture. This picture can also help you to get the topic of the article. There are two women in the picture, as you see. One of them is American and one of them is Japanese. Now, read the article and check whether your guessings were right. So this is the article from Polite Fictions, Why Japanese and Americans Seem Rude to Each Other. After I was married, I had lived in Japan for a while. My Japanese gradually improved to the point where I could take part in simple conversations with my husband and his friends and family, and began to notice that often when I joined in, the others would look startled, and the conversational topic would come to a halt. After this happened several times, it became clear to me that I was doing something wrong, but for a long time I didn't know what it was. Finally, after listening carefully to many Japanese conversations, I discovered that my problem was, even though I was speaking Japanese, I was handling the conversation in the Western way. Japanese-style conversations develop quite differently from Western-style conversations, and the difference isn't only in the languages. I realized that just as I kept trying to hold Western-style conversations, even when I was speaking Japanese, so my English students kept trying to hold Japanese-style conversations, even when they were speaking English. We were unconsciously playing entirely different conversational ball games. A Western-style conversation between two people is like a game of tennis. If I introduce a topic, a conversational ball, I expect you to hit it back. If you agree with me, I don't expect you simply to agree, and I do nothing more. I expect you to add something, a reason for agreeing, another example, or an elaboration to carry the idea further. But I don't expect you always to agree. I'm just as happy if you question me, or challenge me, or completely disagree with me. Whether you agree or disagree, your response will return the ball to me. And then it is my turn again. I don't serve a new ball from my original starting line. I hit your ball back again from where it has bounced. I carry your idea further or answer your questions or objections, or challenge or question you. And so the ball goes back and forth. If there are more than two people in the conversation, then it's like doubles in tennis, or like volleyball. There is no rating in line. Whoever is nearest and quickest hits the ball, and if you step back, someone else will hit it. No one stops the game to give you a turn. You are responsible for taking the ball in turn. But whether it's two players or a group, everyone does his or her best to keep the ball going, and no one person has the ball for very long. A Japanese-style conversation, however, is not at all like tennis or volleyball. It's like bowling. You wait for your turn, and you always know your place in line. It depends on such things as whether you are older or younger, a close friend or a relative stranger to the previous, in a senior or junior position, so on. When your turn comes, you step up to the starting line with your bowling ball and carefully bowl it. Everyone else stands back and watches politely, murmuring encouragement. Everyone waits until the ball has reached the end of the alley and watches to see if it knocks down all the pins or only some of them or none of them. There is a pause while everyone registers their score. Then, after everyone is sure that you have completely finished your turn, the next person in line steps up to that same starting line with a different ball. He doesn't return the ball and he does not begin from where your ball stopped. And there is always a suitable pause between turns. There is no rush, no scramble for the ball. No wonder everyone looked startled when I took part in Japanese conversations. I paid no attention to whose turn it was and kept snatching the ball halfway down the alley and throwing it back at the ball. Of course, the conversation died. I was playing the wrong game. But if you have been trained all your life to play one game, it's no simple matter to switch to another. Even if you know the rules, knowing the rules is not at all the same thing as playing the game. Even now, during a conversation in Japanese, I will notice a startled reaction and belatedly realize that once again I have rudely interrupted by instinctively trying to hit back the other person's bowling ball. It's no easier for me to just listen during a conversation than it is for my Japanese students to just relax when speaking with foreigners. Now I can truly sympathize with how hard they must find it to try to carry on a Western-style conversation. So, after reading the text, I'll answer the following questions. The first one. The author of the article makes the two statements below. Western-style conversation between two people is like a game of tennis. And the second one, a Japanese-style conversation is like bowling. So as you read the article, you should underline any examples she gives to support these statements. And you should write down your supporting ideas for these two statements of the author. Our next while reading activity is multiple choice activity. In this activity, for each item below, you should circle the answer that best completes the statement. In order to do this activity, you should use your scanning strategy and your inferring strategy. The first question. The main idea of this article is that A. People converse differently in Japan than in the West. B. It's important to take part in conversations. C. It's difficult to have a conversation with someone from another country. D. It's rude to interrupt someone who is speaking. The second question. The author makes all of the following arguments except A1. Japanese-style conversations are like bowling. B1. Western-style conversations are like tennis or volleyball. C1. In Japanese-style conversations, you must wait until your turn to speak. D. Western-style conversations are longer than Japanese-style conversations. The third question. In line 48, the word alley probably means A. The place where you register your score. B1. The place where players sit. C1. Something you wear. D. The place where you roll the ball. The first one. You can infer from this article that the author A. was born in Japan. B. has always lived in Japan. C. is a teacher. D. no longer lives in Japan. In order to answer this question, you should use your inferring strategy, and other information will help you to answer this question. The fifth question, the author's purpose in writing this article was not to A. instruct, B. entertain, C. persuade, D. criticize. Question 6. The overall tone of the article is A1. serious and academic. B1. informative and personal. C. humorous and unbelievable. D. thoughtful and fact and sad. After doing this multiple choice activity, you should do the following post-reading activity. So what are the characteristics of a Western-style conversation and a Japanese-style conversation? List ideas from the article in the chart below. So there is a chart, so there's two columns. In the first column, you will list the characteristic features of Western-style conversation, and in the second column, you will list the features of Japanese-style conversation. For example, in Western-style conversation, it's okay to disagree, while in Japanese-style conversation, it's important to wait for your turn, and you will continue this list using the article given to you. And after finishing the chart, you will answer the following questions. First one, when you're having a conversation with a friend, is it more like a Western-style conversation or a Japanese-style conversation? And why? The second one, what is the author's attitude toward Western and Japanese-style conversation? Does she think one style is better than the other? The next activity is discussion and writing. There is given a conversation. So, is the conversation below a Japanese-style conversation or Western-style conversation? And why? Why do you think so? So you should read the conversation and answer the question. Now look at this dialogue between Paul and Susan. So what did you think of the movie? I thought it was great, especially the ending. Really? Didn't you think it was sad? Well, a little bit, but it was funny too. What do you mean? So, according to the author, what could you say to keep this conversation going Western style, right? 3 possible answers to John's statement in the boxes below. So do this exercise, and your homework will be to find the differences between Uzbek style conversation and English style conversation. For this task, you should first search for information, then list the characteristic features of Uzbek style conversation and English style conversation. So that's all. Thank you for your attention. The lesson is over. Goodbye.